This is the downtown Scottsdale area called Old Town. This is just one of the patios showing, what the outdoor lifestyle areas can be in these condos. This is a smaller home in the Scottsdale Ranch area. It gives a good idea of what the older neighborhoods look like.
That's pretty good. Well, today I'm super excited because we're going to take a trip out to Scottsdale, Arizona, and see my friend out there, Vicki Kaplan. Now, Vicki, seasoned agent, she is with Arizona Best out of the Scottsdale area. So I am so excited that she took the time to join us today. So I'm going to bring in Vicki and let her give us a little bit of an idea of what the market is like in Scottsdale and what's going on in the Arizona area, and maybe she can share some of her experiences. So, Vicki, welcome. Thanks so much for joining us today.
Thank you, Mark. I appreciate you giving me the opportunity to see you again.
Oh, you bet. So, let's just start real briefly and kind of introduce yourself and let the viewers know a little bit about your background.
Well, of course, you just introduced me, Vicki Kaplan with Arizona Best Real Estate. I've been in real estate in Scottsdale since 2005. I actually got into the business after my husband retired from a long career with Hyatt Hotels. And we'd vacationed in Scottsdale for a number of years. And it was the one place we always came back to. So when it came time to settle down someplace for good, this felt like home already. So we've been here since 2005.
I know you have a lot of experience in real estate, and for those that you all don't know, I met Vicki at a leading RE function that we had in Las Vegas a couple of years ago, and we've kept in touch and uh, do a lot of business between each other. So, give me an idea of market factors and kind of what makes your market unique or special, maybe compared to some other areas.
Well, Scottsdale is very special. For me, I think that the most important thing is the blend of the luxury lifestyle and the natural beauty of the area. We have over 300 days of sunshine, which makes it ideal for outdoor living. And I think that's why a lot of people actually move here, is just for the laid back atmosphere, the outdoor lifestyle that it affords.
So, from a buyer standpoint, maybe a buyer profile, who do you think is moving to your market, and maybe what areas might they be coming to the Scottsdale area from?
Really, people are coming from all over the country, and it's especially from states like California, Washington, Illinois, New York, places that have typically the higher tax rates and the colder weather.
We're pretty familiar with the higher tax rates because in Florida we don't have a state income tax, so that's pretty good for us. But give me an idea of how your market is right now, what the current real estate conditions are in your area.
Our market is, generally speaking, very balanced at this time. I would say there's been a slow slide down into a buyer's market. That's not a bad thing because we were really pushing very hard with sales that were coming in literally hours the last few years. In the last year and a half or so, it's slowed down quite a bit. So we're balanced with a little bit of, or rather, certain communities definitely be in a seller's market. The luxury market, the high end, um, still teetering on being a seller's market, but again, still I would consider overall everything to be very balanced.
Yeah, where I think that we're seeing a lot of the same things here, although I think that we probably shifted here in Florida in our area at least more, a little bit more towards the buyer side. Um, can you tell me the hot communities area, neighborhoods, and what seems to be popular right now?
The the popular areas are really going to be dependent on what somebody's preferred lifestyle is. If they're looking to have more of an urban um, lifestyle, then they're going to be in downtown Scottsdale. And that area is focused primarily with condos and townhomes. There will be some single family homes, but they're definitely smaller and older. And I'm seeing primarily investors buying those homes to use more for Airbnbs. The next area that would be very popular is Central Scottsdale, and that would be communities like McCormick Ranch, Gainey Ranch, Scottsdale Ranch, where there's community amenities and golf courses. Those homes are going to be, generally speaking, a little bit smaller and older, but they're being remodeled. And you've got price range for condos, probably from the high fives and sixes for the older ones, on up to in the millions for both condos and single family homes. We are going to go into the North Scottsdale, kind of backing into Central Scottsdale, and you've got Kierland Common and the Quarter area, great shopping districts with restaurants. And those areas will have both condos and single family homes. Again, condos, older ones will be in the six, seven, 800, and the single family homes will be in the million to 3 million, in that range. North Scottsdale takes us into a lot more desert environment, a lot more open space. And you'll have the favorite communities, DC Ranch, where there's clubhouse, community centers, tennis court, pool, etc. And then Silverleaf, the very exclusive high-end community that's part of DC Ranch. Of course, Greyhawk, a little more well-known, is there. And then moving north, we've got Troon North area, Troon Village. And those are very popular, again, for somebody who wants the outdoor lifestyle. Lots are much larger. You're close to a lot of hiking and biking areas. Golf courses are around the area. And that even takes us up into the far end of North Scottsdale with Desert Mountain, which is an 8,000 square foot community. I'm sorry, 8,000 square foot. You can tell I'm thinking of houses. 8,000 acres with all kinds of amenities, which include 8 golf courses, 8 clubhouses. Those are the primary areas. There are smaller communities within that will offer different price points. And one of those communities, again, that has a variety of price points is a community called Legend Trail. There's a great clubhouse there for owners. That's just part of the HOA. There's a golf course. It's a public golf course there, and prices really can range from on the low side for something not remodeled in the 700,000 range, all the way up to 2 or 3 million for the larger homes that are in the gated section.
Sounds like you have an awful lot of choices in the Scottsdale area. You have the median price sections, the more expensive sections, and then the exclusive areas. So it sounds like it's a good variety. So, what would you give somebody advice wise if they're relocating to the area, maybe for the first time?
I would say probably the number one thing that buyers coming to the area should do is consider what their lifestyle choice is, what their needs are. And then once they've determined that, the agent they're working with, hopefully me, will be able to guide them into those areas that are going to meet those needs. The other thing I would tell them to be very aware of is the seasonality of our market. The summer months are typically quieter, inventory is lower, and so um, there's less competition here. Just with the hot temperatures, you just don't have the same kind of buyer visiting the area. Then, then aside from the seasonality aspect, I would also say when you're looking at homes, know what to look for. And again, this is something that you wouldn't think of if you're coming from another part of the country. Something else to really consider is the orientation of a home. If you're here only in the winter months, having a backyard facing east is not ideal. It'll be colder on the outdoor patio areas. Conversely, you don't want a patio that faces west if you live here year round or you're here during the hotter summer months. The It'll just be unbearably hot to be on the patio. The ideal is to have a north-south orientation that you can enjoy year round and enjoy the outdoor lifestyle.
That makes a lot of sense. In our area here, the primary is to have a southern-facing backyard or lanai, because most of the houses here have pools and lanais. So it sounds like the orientation is kind of similar. Um, so what might be a surprise that someone might not know about in your area that would surprise somebody that they just wouldn't take for granted if you were talking about Scottsdale or Arizona in general?
I think in general, just the fact that we're not just a brown desert with cactus growing everywhere. There really is a lot of color in our desert, especially in the northern part where we have the rolling hills and more vegetation. But that would probably be the biggest surprise for people is just the greenery that they're going to see through the city areas and up north. And this has been water management that Scottsdale's become very well known for over the years. So that would probably be the biggest surprise for somebody.
That makes a lot of sense. Can you give me an idea of maybe what some of the market trends are right now? But what maybe the buyers and sellers should be aware of?
The one thing that really surprises people is how much the real estate market can vary within the same metro area. There's a lot of micro markets, and I think it's really important to be aware of those. Um, Price growth has leveled off. We're not seeing those big jumps like we did a couple of years ago, and that's a good thing. We are also seeing that buyers really want move-in ready homes. They don't know the area, they don't have confidence in finding contractors, and so if a home is already remodeled or has the updating that's needed, it's going to sell a lot quicker than something that needs all that work. Luxury market, as I said, is still strong. The sweet spot for the luxury market is probably the $3 to $4 million price range. Above that, 5 million and up, it's just a smaller buyer pool. Um, then out of state buyers keep coming, and we're seeing a steady stream of them from, as I said before, California, the Midwest, and even the East Coast. And a lot of them are drawn here because of the lifestyle and the sunshine and just the outdoor benefits.
Well, I think that the viewers would probably like a couple of these slides, and maybe you could just, I'll go through them kind of quickly, and maybe you can describe what it is that we're seeing, and maybe the sections of the community that they relate to.
This is the downtown Scottsdale area called Old Town. This is Old Town Scottsdale, a great area for buyers who want the urban lifestyle, or even if you're up north as I am, it's great to go down there. It's a lot of fun, but it's an area that has a lot of charm. It borders into the little more upscale area of Scottsdale, downtown Scottsdale, with the Fashion Square shopping area that is right next to the waterfront, our waterfront. It probably isn't like yours with the ocean, but it is our waterfront. And and you can move on to that slide, and you'll see the difference, the mixture of both new, the condos, the waterfront, and then what Old Town was. And the condos that you'll see typically right in this immediate area are high rise. They're more upscale. A very small condo at what's called Camel View Optima, which is right in that area, probably 700,000 in that range for a 700 square foot home, on up to several million for a larger square foot home and with more views than an inner courtyard. That is the Camel View Optima that I just mentioned. This is just one of the patios showing, what the outdoor lifestyle areas can be in these condos. That greenery you see draping every patio has a garden area, if you will. It's maintained by the HOA, and it just adds a nice warm element to that lifestyle.
It certainly does. That's absolutely beautiful.
This is Central Scottsdale, and this picture just kind of gives an overview of areas and shows the greenery that's built into some of these communities. This particular community is Scottsdale Ranch, and there's quite a few little lakes built in and around neighborhoods there.
Yeah, that's nice looking.
This is a smaller home in the Scottsdale Ranch area, and this one was, if I'm remembering correctly, I think this one was about 900,000. A smaller home for that area, but nonetheless, it gives a good idea of what the older neighborhoods look like. And this is again another green area, and it's in a townhome community called Racket Club. Again, I'm just showing what how green we can be in these neighborhoods. Now we're up in North Scottsdale, and what I wanted to share with this photo is this was a house that is in a community called Glenmore at Troon Village, very popular area. And this was an older home overlooking the Troon Village or Troon Golf Course in the McDowell Mountains. This home was sold about 4 years ago for a million, I want to say 1.3 million or just under that, and then completely remodeled. And it just sold recently for 3,450,000. So the difference in 4 years, the difference in a home that's been remodeled is really quite tremendous. So if somebody's looking for a home, I wouldn't discount a home that's not completely remodeled. The best buys are going to be those homes that need to be remodeled.
Yeah, I can see that. That they did a nice job on that.
They did. It's beautiful inside. And we're still in the Troon North area. Troon Village and Troon North are kind of side by side. This is just another home, 1,000,001 in Troon North, typical of the older neighborhoods and the smaller homes there.
That's pretty nice.
And this is a townhome that's right at the True North Golf Course. Um, you can kind of see that these are two-story for the most part. And this particular one that's you can't really tell, but the selling prices in these townhomes is anywhere from on the low end with no view, 700,000 on up to 1,600,000 or so.
Boy, it looks like some people have great views there.
And then, of course, this is the True North Golf Course, one of the fairways. And just a little further north of the True North Troon Village area is a community called Legend Trail. And this community is great for winter visitors, part time residents. Um, Smaller homes for the most part, also on the Legend Trail Golf Course, which is a public course. And the home price range in there is going to be in the low sevens for something with no views and no updating, on up to pushing 2 million for a larger square footage home in the gated communities there.
Got it.
This is a new construction. It was just finished this past fall and winter. It's 8,000 square feet, and I'm showing that more to show the pricing that we're getting into in the North Scottsdale area. So this home was 8,300 square feet, and it sold for 9,000 or 9,000. It sold for 9 million. It has mountain views all the way around, and as I said, it's brand new construction. It's a beautiful home on 2.3 acres.
It's a nice piece of property.
This is one of my favorite hiking areas, not too far from this home that you just saw. It's just in the True North area. It backs into the Sonoran Preserve land. It's called Brown's Ranch, and it's miles and miles and miles of hiking trails.
That's pretty good.
And then this is our famous Pinnacle Peak. Again, another um, uh, hiking area that a lot of locals and out of town people go to.
Well, I think this last slide here is probably one of my favorites.
That's one of my favorites. It depicts, it really and truly is a picture of our high desert area. This is in the spring, and that's probably, as I said earlier, one of the most surprising things about the area is how green it can be. And in the spring, the corridor is just dotted with color, all the wildflowers coming out.
That's pretty good. So, Vicki, I sure do appreciate you taking time out of your busy schedule to join us today. And I know that somebody that's coming to the Scottsdale, Arizona area would be very lucky to be able to connect with you. Now, there's an 800 number down at the link in below, and we will put a direct contact form in the video to be able to be connected with Vicki should you decide to either buy or sell in the Scottsdale area. I think that she would give you great representation no matter which side of the transaction that you're on. So, Vicki, thanks so much for being here today.
Thank you, Mark. I appreciate it.
You bet. So that's today's video for Scottsdale, Arizona with Vicki Kaplan with Arizona Best. She is a great agent, and I've known her for several years. We've done several transactions together, and I think that anybody would be lucky to be able to use her as an agent for them. So in this channel, Relocation, It's Your Move, we're all about connecting buyers and sellers with good quality agents all across the United States and across the globe. So if we can help you, we look forward to talking with you. Mark Bamig, Michael Saunders & Company.